Ray's like, "What's going on, man? What am I doing here at 4:30?"
My volume was not working properly for a second. It was good.
4:30 accountability call, accountability club. All the details are in the lower third. Everybody's all chipper here. 4:30 this morning. Rob and I, Rob Commadori and I, were just talking about just getting into a little conversation off the live thing about commitment, and I was asking Rob if he had any good stories about commitment, and he said he got a really good one. So
Yeah, it was back in when the Colts played the Saints in the Super Bowl. I think it was 2010 maybe, and I had gone on a golf trip down in Florida. And prior to that, my son had never really gotten to football or anything like that. But coming up to that season or that year, he started getting into it. And the Colts former Baltimore team, he was a Peyton Manning guy, and so I committed to him. I said, "Hey, look," I said, "no matter what happens, you and I are going to watch the Super Bowl this year together." So if you recall, we had two blizzards in a week that year. And so I'm down in Florida. One blizzard comes in as I leave, and then we get down there, we're playing. Another one comes rolling in. I got a flight that's supposed to come in to Baltimore, leave Florida Saturday night. So the blizzard comes in. We're on the golf course, and I get a notification from Southwest Air. It says your flights have been canceled. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. So we finished golf, we go eat, and I'm on the phone. I'm trying to get flights into LaGuardia and then drive home, go to Carolina, drive home. Couldn't get anywhere. And I was with a bunch of Curly guys. Went to Curly. We had priests with us and all that. And so he goes, "Rob, what are you gonna do?" I said, I'm going home. I committed to my son. I told him I'd be there for the Super Bowl. I will get there. I said, "Take me to the airport." He goes, "What are you gonna do?" I said, "I'm going to rent a truck. I'm going to drive home right now." So what we did, he drove me to the airport. It was 8 p.m. at night, and I jumped in a car, and I drove home. I guess it was 18 straight hours. And I called my wife and I said, "Tell Robbie I'm sorry I can't make it. So do the best I can. I got snowed in." I said, "But I'm driving home." I said, "When I knock on the door, make sure he answers it." So I drove home, and it was bad when I got to like DC, because it was like riding four wheel, and there was so many, the snow was so deep, and a bunch of slush, and it was bumpy the last 2 hours of the ride. So I get home, I call my wife. I said, I'm going to be knocking on the door any second. So I knock on the door. My son, he's 10 years old at the time. He opens the door, and his eyes almost popped out of his head. He couldn't believe that I showed up for the Super Bowl after my wife told him I was snowed in down in Florida. We couldn't get a flight. So the thing was, I committed to him. I said, "I'm going to be there to watch the Super Bowl with you." And Ron, like it means everything to you to be home at 5 and spend time with your son. It meant everything to me. I told him, I said, "I will be there to watch that first Super Bowl with you. I'm going to make it come hell or high water." And I did it. So it was pretty cool.
It's good stuff.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool thing for a 10-year-old to see their father do, like that's pretty cool. I know that, like, this morning, like, I never double snooze. I double snooze this morning. Like, a lot of times I'll snooze, like, so my alarm clock's 4 o'clock, and then I'm like rattled, and then I get, I'll snooze for 10 minutes, and then that's like I'll take that time to get up and think about things. And this morning I hit a second snooze, but like 3 minutes into it, I'm like, what am I doing? Like, I had like a 3-minute conversation in my head today. Like, the reminder, hey, what are you going to do? You're going to sleep in? You're going to run out of time here? Of course not. Like, I don't know, on a much smaller level, that commitment, because everything that's unlocked for me. I'll get so much work done this morning. Our kids back on schedule. I've already done a blog post. I have a bunch of really important administrative stuff I'm going to get to. It's searching for properties for some of our investor clients right now too. So it's so awesome to get into work at 9 after hanging out with my son and getting all that work done. Some of you guys Ray, are you starting to see, you're about a week now? Are you starting to see that, effect of, I mean, you got basically 15, 21 hours, like in a week in the morning. Like if you're counting 4:30 to 7:30, you got 21 hours of time before 7:30 in the morning.
For sure. I mean, it's a huge productivity boost, and it's just like all my ideas are more fresh and they're actually getting worked on. Before I still had several, ideas and things I want to accomplish, but there was really no direction with them because there was no time. So we've added all those hours per week is incredible. You do that across a year, the number is staggering.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. Like, because I was getting up at 5:30. Well, I was starting my day at 5:30. I was getting up a little before that, and then moved to 4:30, and it's huge. And then I don't think anybody really would have said, "I got a drinking problem." I think everybody would have thought, he goes out and has drinks during dinner once or twice a week. That's pretty normal, right? But cutting that out, it's huge, like huge time saver, huge feeling good across the year is huge. It's these little things. I can't remember who I was talking to yesterday about. Actually, another agent. Where I get my motivation from, and it's from seeing other people, committed to it. Like I don't really enjoy a really like silver tongued speaker on stage getting me motivated because I feel like I'm getting ready to buy something. Somebody that's honed that sales pitch that masqueraded as a motivational speech, that doesn't do it. But this gritty, get up early, watch, and it's great to share it with you guys. See you guys in the morning trying to do the same thing. How's it going, Josh?
It's going good. Hanging in there. Fell off the train for 2 days, but we're back.
Yeah, but like a lot of times I wake up and I feel like I have a marching band in my brain. Like I'm like, let's go, let's do it, let's go. That's like today, not so much. Today I'm like double snoozing and like, It's really a mindset thing though, because just sitting here in this call, my mindset's completely changing. I'm getting fired up. That marching band's getting ready to start clapping.
Get ready to start. I thought it already started.
It's going, it's not full throttle yet. Like, but there's days like that where you're just not mentally. I was up till 10. It wasn't ideal sleep or anything, but I'm ready to rock and roll. Anybody got anything they want to share?
Well, you made me think of something about just doing something. You talked about these 3 hours of productivity. And I might have brought this up early on, Ron. It's called the book's called The Slight Edge. Anybody ever read that book?
Mm-mm.
And it talks about just getting 0.03% better a day. Ron, you and I talked about this at lunch, I think, before I started this with you.
Yeah.
And it talks about if you work on one thing, whether it's speed reading or AI or whatever you decide to do, if you work on one thing 0.03% a day, by year's end, you'll be 100% better. So, another quick story is my son was playing basketball years ago, 5th grade. He broke his growth plate in his foot, so he couldn't play. And I said, the only thing you can do while you're out for the next 4 or 5 weeks is just work on your dribbling, work on your foul shooting. I said, Rob, I said, just 0.03% of a day is 4.2 minutes. So I said, just work at it 5 minutes a day. So I pull home one day, hit the garage door opener, and the garage door goes up, and my son, he's standing there, he's got a blindfold on, and he's dribbling through his legs and doing all this stuff back and forth, right? And so within 5-6 weeks, he became like the best ball handler on the team, and it was awesome to watch him to just do this 5 minutes a day. And so whatever it is, if you just take 5 minutes a day to work on it, you're going to be 100% better over the course of a year.
That's awesome. I don't know if you get a chance. I think it's on Netflix. It might have been HBO, but there's a Steph Curry documentary, and he was overlooked. He wasn't recruited out of high school. He went to a small D1 school. Really got overlooked in the draft. I mean, it's an amazing story of perseverance because he was like undersized. Now what's he been the MVP like 4 or 5 times? And
He's a stud.
It's a really, really good documentary. Like it's his story is unbelievable because it's not like it's not bullshit. It's like this real legit thing. His father and mom went to Virginia Tech, and he wanted to be Virginia Tech. I'm pretty sure it's Virginia Tech. They didn't even look at him. They had no interest. Like, and can you imagine if you were any of those people that like passed and had an opportunity to bring that guy in? I mean, he became like one of the best shooters of all time.
Oh yeah,
It changed the whole game.
Yeah,
He changed the NBA.
I'll have to figure out what it was on. I think it was on HBO or something. But I didn't know his backstory. I didn't know that the whole story there, that he was never. I mean, it's like being the last kid picked on the football team when you're picking teams and stuff like that. That was him. It was crazy.
it's called Seth Curry underrated.
Yeah, it's phenomenal if you guys haven't seen it. Anyways, we hit our time. Good chat. I'm gonna have the marching band ready tomorrow morning.
There you go.
This
Have a great
marching